All right, we are live on YouTube Sunday, March 17th, and let's get into a best ball draft here on Underdog. We're going to enter the big board, $10 buy-in, and just a reminder for those of you who have never played, this is a tournament with a $2 million prize pool. First place gets 200K, and if you advance, you at least get your money back. I believe top two teams are advancing, but it's half PPR, and the roster has two running backs, three wide receivers, one flex that start, along with one tight end, one quarterback, and 12 bench spots. So let's get into this thing and get this rolling. We have 3 spots remaining. So if you'd like to join us, you can use the link in the description and use code Nice and Blunt and get your first deposit matched for up to $100. So we got a little bit of time before this thing kicks off, but here we are getting rolling and very excited. There's so many moves that happened over the course of the last week. The NFL's like in a new dimension almost. There's so many players that shuffled around, mostly running backs, and that's very interesting. So we're going to be really just taking note of the ADPs, how things changed, and sometimes even if players have fallen, that's like really kind of what you want to prioritize rather than players that move up the board, especially in this tournament that has been going for, what is it, a month now? I feel like this started in early February. So if you're drafting a player in this tournament 4 rounds above where he was going a month ago, you are at a big disadvantage against the field because they got a big discount on that player. And while I would like to take some of them, that's a strategy you really need to factor in to this draft, especially in the tournament. So we have pick 4, and this thing's going to get going. And that's a good spot because we're going to get an elite receiver, or somehow we're going to take CMC, who falls to us. But I like pick 4 quite a lot. I think it's a good spot to be in. You get a very high chance of players falling to you as you come back around after the long term. But Goat Mode, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see ya. Not much is up. Not much is going on. I mean, there's been so much news, but yeah, feeling good on a Sunday. And I gotta go fucking grocery shopping after this. But what's up with you? How you doing? Are you excited as a Chicago Bear to have Keenan Allen no longer with Justin Fields? Looks like it's clearly Caleb Williams. Would be a shocker to see them trade down at this point. But gonna have some weapons with DeAndre Swift there as well, Gerald Everett. A lot happening with all that cap space in Chicago. But the draft has started. CMC goes number 1. I feel like now is the time to be a little bit back on the train of like, it's possible that CMC gets hurt, coming off the Super Bowl, a little bit risky. Do we go Jefferson or do we go Jamar? I don't love this decision, knowing that there isn't like a solid quarterback in Minnesota, but I'm going to go Jamar Chase. Just because of the Sam Darnold situation, I'm going to go Jamar Chase. Him and Joe Burrow, excellent combo. T. Higgins, disgruntled, possibly traded. I don't know if that's a lock at this point, but I'm good with Jamar. Very satisfied with Jamar. But Goat Mode is sad to see Fields go, but we've got a better chance with Kale. Excited to see how Keenan and Swift do. I think Keenan's going to be very helpful. I also think there is it's not like probably the betting favorite at this point, but I still think they could go with like Rome Odunze at pick 9 if he's still available. I wouldn't be shocked to see them grab that caliber level receiver if available in the top 10 picks, just because Keenan's on a 1-year deal, and it's not like they have that many weapons behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. Let the rookie develop a little bit behind 2 really good veterans, and next year still have a top two receiver combo that's definitely competitive. Because if Keenan moves off or retires possibly next season, you know, you'd be probably in better shape to have like Odunze paired. So I feel like they're going to be very, very competitive on offense. Maybe they go defense, but I would be excited as well. I'm very, very disappointed that my Khalil Herbert stock is not going to work out given the Swift signing. Is getting him super late, and that's looking like a bad pick. That's not a good decision in hindsight. But you take your chance. It is what it is. After our Jamar Chase pick, wow, Jefferson falls to pick 8. That is interesting. But we see Bijan, Brees Hall, Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, A.J. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley now going at pick 12. That's interesting to see. I do see him as a top 5 running back, though. So fair value. I think I'd rather go with Saquon over Jahmyr Gibbs. I think so. I think to put him at 4 is not egregious. The lowest I would put him is like 6. So, yeah, very appropriate. Marvin Harrison at 13. Damn. I hate that you have to pay such a premium price on him to get him. That is annoying. He's going to be good. I like some Harrison Jr. for sure, but even when he was going like late round 2, I was like, damn, does he really have to go this early? But wide receiver just has such a premium. Wow, Chris Olave, 15. That's the thing about round 2 receivers. It's such a flat tier. Even guys you're getting sometimes like pick 30. Like you could argue for Michael Pittman here, who's probably going to go around pick 30, somewhere in the early 3rd round. Everyone in the 2nd to early 3rd round, I kind of feel is the same. Not a major difference in terms of like what you're actually getting from a production standpoint. Going to go over 1,000 yards, but you're just hoping the touchdowns are more than the next guy. So then we see Kyren Williams, Jonathan Taylor. Feels appropriate. Nico Collins is off the board. I will not be going Devon Achane. I don't like the Devon Achane price. I just don't. I feel like if you take Devon Achane, I'd be very tempted to go with a guy like Raheem Mostert in like round 8 or wherever he's going. But here we are on the board, and I've done a couple drafts off stream this week since free agency has kicked off, and I think Devontae Adams here in late round 2, very safe. Now that Gardner Minshew is there, I think he does gain some value, and I do like. I really liked what I saw when Antonio Pierce was the quarterback, how they used Devontae Adams, because when it was Jacoby Myers and the Josh McDaniels offense, Adams was not scoring touchdowns. It just was really annoying. Once it shifted to a new coach, Adams had way more targets. With Minshew, it's going to kind of be like a Pittman situation. Like he's the clear number 1 receiver. And I think in terms of safety, here in round 2, I love Adams' value. I'd rather take him than Diggs. Would have loved to get Mike Evans. Did not. Speaking of Michael Pittman, I think he's very legit here. As we mentioned, similar tier. That's probably who I'm going to go with. We could go Rashee Rice just because he's falling a little bit, but I worry about the Marquise Brown signing. I think Rashee is much more of a lower end 3rd round pick, whereas Pittman here, very safe with him. I just like Adams, going in the 3rd round for Michael Pittman, I just trust it so much. I think there's almost no bust potential. He was a little bit more consistent with Minshew at quarterback as opposed to Anthony Richardson, but still, by far and away, he's the number 1 receiver in that offense. And I don't think there's any bust potential with Michael Pittman. Goat Mode says Devontae slash Diggs late second round is great value. Why is A Chain going so high? Because he had those blow up games. Because A Chain was just so explosive in some of those games. But remember, his biggest game, let's take a look at the game log for him. His biggest game was that 70-pointer against Denver, where he ran for 203 and put up a total of 4 touchdowns. But his next 2 games, he did run for over 100 yards on minimal volume. Like that's the thing. There are very few instances where he actually got big volume. And yeah, he is explosive. He has some games with like elite yards per carry numbers. He was so brittle. He was so injury prone, and it only took Mostert going down at the end of the season for him to get like somewhat legit volume. And even then, like his touchdown production fell off a cliff at the end. He had 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games when he was the starter. But yeah, I just worry about his size being able to hold up. I still think Mostert is going to have a role. Like look at this player profiler situation. 5'9", 188, 188 pounds for a second round running back is risky as F. And the Pro Football Reference page does not change any of those stats. 5'9", 188. I don't get it either, man. I wouldn't do it. But the upside is there. It is best ball, so you kind of push up the higher ceiling options a little bit, but yikes. I do not like it. I don't like it. We're on the board in a few picks. We can leave this up. I would love to see ETN fall to me. That would be ideal. Team 8 and 7 could snipe me. I feel like Team 7 is probably going to take him. But if somehow, some way, Team 6 passes, I'd be shocked to see Team 5 go with ETN, and we would be very ecstatic with ETN at pick 45. So that's what we're praying does not happen with pick 42 here. Probably will. But if now there he goes. So we'd be looking at a Rachaad White, James Cook selection. Keenan starting to fall. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about my heavy DJ Moore investment about a month ago with Keenan there. Gonna be kind of capped. Wow, Pickens goes. Interesting to see Pickens flying up the board. We could go with T. Higgins, get a double stack combo with Joe Burrow in a little bit. But Team 1 has Christian McCaffrey, and these next 3 teams, ourselves included, do not have a running back. So it's probably wise to invest in a running back ourselves. We could go T. Higgins. I don't hate having Pacheco, but we would need him to fall. Yeah, I'm gonna take Rachaad White. I'm gonna go with the safer strategy and lock up such a safe running back. I mean, yes, there's a new offensive coordinator, but Rachaad White was very underrated in what he was actually able to do last year. I wish there was a total yards stat here because at the end of the season, he had a minimum of 100 yards or a touchdown in 12 straight games. It was like starting in week 7 where he had 99 total yards. It was at least 100 every single week. And the random games where it didn't happen, like, what is this, week 11? He did score a touchdown. Or in week 17. That was the only caveat to that stat. Otherwise, it was just like money in the bank. You have such a safe floor with Rachaad White. And I know this is best ball. You kind of want to prefer the ceiling. But, yeah, exactly what I expected to happen. Pacheco not going to fall to us. Team 1 doubling up on James Cook and Pacheco. I'm happy to have banked the floor with Rachaad White compared to teams 2 and 3 that are looking at Kenneth Walker as their RB1 going into round 5. If they take that pick, that would be wild. Okay. I do like Christian Kirk's value in round 5. However, we're here at pick 52. And we could take Lamar 10 picks past ADP. That's probably a good thing to do in this tournament setting. Yeah, I'm going to take the value in the tournament. I think that's not a bad move. The value on Lamar. Don't see him fall that much. I've seen him go late round 3. So get him here at 52 with an ADP of 42. I'll do it. And pick 5 takes Patrick Mahomes. There's going to be a premium on quarterbacks. There's going to be a bit of a rush on the quarterback position, given Mahomes is not someone's QB1. Yeah, I'm not too upset about that. I kind of like Mahomes a little bit more, to be honest with you. Like, if I was doing my ranking straight up, I think I'd still probably rather take Mahomes. But because of the value, it's a tournament, we want a more unique roster, and the discounted price on Lamar, I think, is a useful strategy in this tournament setting. We also don't need to worry about stacking Lamar too much. Maybe we could go Zay Flowers. Did he already get drafted? Oh wow, Zay Flowers went at pick 37. That's a fucking reach. Whoa, I would not do that. Ridley 58. How is Ridley not fallen like a full round? Going to Tennessee with DeAndre Hopkins still there. I know he got a massive contract, but like, oh my God, that's so ugly. That is terrible. Terrible for the fantasy value. Will Levis gets some more upside, but damn, I do not like the Ridley value at all. He was so inconsistent last year. He's going to be even worse in Tennessee with Hopkins there too. Not the pick I would make. Not at all. Especially when you already have 4 receivers. You don't need Ridley. What the fuck are you doing? Yikes. Weird decisions. But Andrews' fault. I'd much rather have Andrews than Ridley. What the fuck? Okay. We love Joe Mixon here. Mixon has shot up the board. In Houston, I think he's more valuable than he would be in Cincinnati because you actually have to worry about the backup situation in the Bengals offense with Chase Brown there. In Houston, Dameon Pierce was shit. Dameon Pierce was atrocious. So I don't think you worry about Dameon Pierce at all. Singletary's not there. Mixon got himself a contract extension as well. They traded for him. They know they're going to use him. I love Mixon here. Mixon's a great value. If he somehow falls to us, I would be ecstatic. But yeah, the team with CJ Stroud takes him. Yeah, this guy's going heavy Houston stack, so not a shocker. Good for you. Team, whatever pick 7 is, draft dude, has a good team. I like his team. Damn it, we don't even get Montgomery? Yikes. Fuck. I'm glad I took Rachaad White. At least we have the floor of Rachaad White, but fuck. Not excited. I do love me some Brian Thomas. Jordan Addison appropriately falling with the quarterback situation. That's the reason we did not take, what's his face? Justin Jefferson. But fuck, man. This is bad. Yeah, I'll take Brian Thomas Jr. Could possibly go to Cincinnati as well. That would really screw us over in terms of this draft. But I'd be shocked to see him fall to 18. I still think the Jaguars are in play for Brian Thomas Jr. if he's there at 17, and I can't see him falling past them. Even with the signing of Gabe Davis is not a player I trust. And if he doesn't go there, he could possibly go to Indianapolis. He could probably go to New Orleans as well, stay in Louisiana alongside Chris Olave. Brian Thomas Jr. is going in the teens, and I'd be shocked to see him go past pick 17. Do you think Nick Chubb is going to be healthy, and is his fantasy value way down because of it? I would love to get Nick Chubb here. Nick Chubb would be my ideal pick. He's still very talented. But do we pass up on the Joe Burrow stack? Do we do it? If I didn't have Lamar, I would absolutely be taking Joe Burrow here. Fuck. Should I do it? Should I do it? I don't think I'm going to do it. I think it's too risky. I'm going to go with Nick Chubb. I think 7th round Nick Chubb is perfectly fair value. And if anything, you're getting him at a big discount because I don't think Jerome Ford did anything to elevate himself over Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is still highly paid. And yeah, I know it was a bit of a gruesome injury. You got a helmet to the knee in like week 2. But it wasn't a non-contact injury. That is a little bit more ideal. I mean, it's never ideal to tear your ACL. I'm not trying to paint the picture like, oh, this isn't something to worry about, especially at Nick Chubb's age. It's a little bit concerning. But it's not like there was a structural problem with Nick Chubb's knee that led to the injury. It was just a terrible stroke of luck, bad tackling. Nick Chubb is still extremely talented, and last year he was going at the end of round 1. So as long as he's healthy, we're in this tournament. Like, the odds of us winning are so slim in the first place. We are drafting for best case scenario, and the best case scenario is that Nick Chubb is fully healthy, does not have any type of setback. He's also getting a full year to recover. The ACL, while it's never ideal, has been something that players have been able to recover from a little bit faster as of late, rather than like historically speaking. It would take like over a year almost for them to get somewhat back, and then they'd be kind of slow. Now it's like, even if it happens in November, you still almost expect them to be ready at the beginning of the season. They might kind of have like a Breece Hall situation where they're a little slow, but yeah, I think by the time we're in October, Nick Chubb's gonna be back up to speed at the worst, if not by week 1, and I think he'll be okay. I think if it wasn't for that injury, he would be going probably where Kyren Williams is going. I think he'd definitely be going over A-Chain. He'd be a 2nd round pick if not for that injury. So we might be getting a discount on Nick Chubb here in round 7. I think it's his floor. You're drafting him at his floor. He's not going to be worse than this because he's going, let's see, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. He's running back 22 off the board. I feel very confident in that. I think it's good value. So we need a running back, and we go with Nick Chubb as our RB2. Not bad. Najee is falling. I think Najee has good value. I hate the Eckler value. I feel like he should be falling another round. Personally, I do not want to draft Eckler at all. I way more prefer Brian Robinson, who's going later. I don't understand that. Okay, whatever. Let them make the mistake. Doesn't make sense to me, but it is what it is. Okay, Najee goes, Njoku goes, so we're not getting Njoku. Nobody on this half of the board other than Team 2 has a tight end. Like, the first 4 out of the first 5 teams do not have tight end yet. So I like Jake Ferguson in terms of like what I can do to scoot around my opponents, but we shit on A-Chain So Mostert isn't a bad pick. I feel like the team above us who took Achane should have probably gone Mostert. That's what I would do. I like the handcuff, but I think Jalen Warren, from a best ball perspective, is the most valuable here. Arthur Smith's the OC in Pittsburgh. They moved off of Deontay Johnson, and Russell Wilson is a check down machine. He cannot stop throwing it to the running back position. So I think Warren has a ton of targets headed his way, and I trust him as a good value here as like a guaranteed top 30 running back. He also has more burst than Najee Harris does. Najee's another year older and has never really had like a major injury, but maybe he's a little due. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you kind of feel like Najee might be due? I feel like their offense is pivoting towards the running back approach, more of a rushing approach. And I think Jalen Warren, him and Najee were like neck and neck back to back a lot there last year. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Warren overtake him. I like the value on Jalen Warren. We need a third running back, but I might be taking. Damn it, he goes. Shit. I wanted Zamir White bad. That's a bummer. We spoke about Brian Robinson as our preference over what's his face? Eckler. So that's a consideration here. A.D. Mitchell. If I knew where he was going, I would like him, but I do not. So I'm going to go with Brian Robinson Jr. Is Bengals running back one Chase Brown or Zach Moss? I think it's a split, man. I think it's a 50-50 split. I was tempted to go with Chase Brown. I think I'd rather have Zach Moss, given what he was able to do last year. But it's not clear. I think one of them, like 25 to 30, kind of similar to the Jalen Warren, Najee Harris situation, but you could pick one and be completely wrong about it. There could be one that is overtaking them, but remind me of the Zach Moss contract, because I don't think it's big. It's an average $4 million per year, 2 seasons, only $3 million is guaranteed. That is not a big enough endorsement for you to say definitively Zach Moss is the RB1. I think Chase Brown is very talented, and I wouldn't be shocked if he overtook him, but Chase Brown's fast. He's 5'10", 209. I feel like he might be the better talent. So it's a situation where like they could really just eat into each other's value so much that neither of them is like an elite upside pick in best ball, and that they're both like just floor plays. Like the thing about why I like Warren a lot more, even though he's almost kind of in a similar situation, Warren has that like 20-point upside where I know definitively he's the pass catcher. I can't tell you definitively that Chase Brown is like much higher of a likelihood receiver candidate. He's probably the receiver, but I don't think it's going to be as overwhelmingly in favor of Chase Brown as it will be with Jalen Warren. And the touchdown production, I think, is much more even, if not possibly favoring Jalen Warren in Pittsburgh, whereas in Cincinnati, it's going to be a close split. It might slightly favor Zach Moss. I just don't know. Yeah, that's a situation. I get why they're both 9th round picks. I think that's appropriate for them to kind of go off back to back there. But I still prefer Brian Robinson personally. That is my reasoning behind my selection, not pivoting to the Bengals backfield. But if I could have gotten Zamir White, I would have been very happy. I thought I could sneak in the Jalen Warren pick over Zamir White, but I did not get lucky. It did not work out for me. Bummer for me. Love me some Zamir White. Zamir White is gonna be great. Top 20 running back. I think almost guaranteed. Okay. We could draft our hopeful Brian Thomas Jr., Trevor Lawrence stack. We could do that. We could go with tight end. We could go with Troy Franklin. We could go Mike Williams. But don't love this spot in the draft. We are going to go Mike Williams. I'm going to just hope and pray that he returns to the Chargers on a discounted deal. Might have been a bad pick there, but compared to the talent at this level, I did not like what I saw from Troy Franklin at the combine. I feel like he lost some value. He's going to go more in like mid round 2, and I feel like he may not contribute like vehemently in year 1. Same with the other receivers here, like Mike Williams. Whoever signs him, obviously we need him to stay healthy, but I don't think anyone like compares to the volume you could possibly like project for Mike Williams wherever he signs. He's still very talented. Some of you might be rolling your eyes at me for that pick, but he's my boy. I was sad to see him go, but I understand the cap decision to get rid of Mike Williams. Watch him sign with the fucking Chiefs. Watch him go to the fucking Chiefs. That would suck. That would be annoying. Okay, so quarterback got rattled off while we were avoiding it. I'm going to take Dalton Schultz. I need a tight end, and I trust him in Houston. Had some good games, got hurt a little bit, but Schultz as our tight end 1 is someone I'm comfortable with. That Houston offense really good, and I still don't like fully trust the wide receivers they have. He had a really good stretch there, starting in week 4, where he was scoring a lot of touchdowns here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns in 7 games. Then he got hurt, and he was not quite the same player. He did have 2 good games here, but that 10 catch, 130 yard game and a touchdown is the elite potential that you could see from Dalton Schultz. But plenty of games with over 50 yards receiving. Very safe pick, in my opinion here. What was that, round 11? Yeah, I'm not going to regret the Dalton Schultz selection. But maybe I should have gone quarterback over Mike Williams. Chargers receiving core is so bad, Herbert might have to start throwing to Joey Bosa. I mean, yes, it's bad, but I think we're getting Malik Neighbors. I didn't think that a week ago. I thought they were absolutely going to trade down or just take Joe Alt if they were stuck at the 5 pick. But now that they moved off of both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, I think they're going with Malik Neighbors. Because there's no way Marvin Harrison is getting past Arizona. That would be a shock. But if they stay at 5, or even if they trade down to 11, no, if they trade down to 11, there's no way they get even a Dunze. But I think they're going receiver with that first pick. Maybe they take one in round 2 because this draft is so loaded at that position. But I think they're going Malik Neighbors. But oh shit, Quentin Johnston goes. We may not get who I think is the steal of the draft at this exact moment in time. Since you bring up the Chargers receiving core, we're probably going to get sniped, but it is so obviously Josh Palmer season. I would not take Quentin Johnston over Josh Palmer. I would not do that at all. I kind of regret not grabbing a second quarterback just because sometimes Lamar disappears. Sometimes Lamar has a bad game. And not getting Trevor Lawrence, Kirk Cousins, or Jared Goff. Like, I wanted one of the three of them with this pick 124, and it did not happen. So that's not good. We can always go Baker. Yeah, we're gonna hope that that's available to us. I never go Rodgers, but I might do it if I have to. Not here though. As long as we don't get sniped. I know exactly who I'm taking. Are we getting sniped? Or no? No, we are not. I mean, he's a little bit buried. I'm kind of... I'm going to take him. We already saw Quentin Johnston go. He's worth reaching on. At this point, he's the number one receiver in LA. Like, I think it's fair. I wouldn't be shocked if like a few weeks from now he's going where Jamison Williams is going. I think you have to invest where the volume is going. Like, Palmer's better than Quentin Johnston. Have a good one, man. Yeah. Enjoy your evening. Hope you had a good weekend. Thanks for joining me in the live stream. Later, bud. Okay, what are we doing here? I think I have to go Baker. We likely get sniped here, but no. I kind of like the Pat Freiermuth value here, but there's no way Baker comes back around to us, and we need a solid backup QB. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. Baker going this late, great value. Like a full round past Matthew Stafford, 2 rounds after Jared Goff. I feel like the three of them are in the same tier. And Baker's going the latest of all of them. He still has Mike Evans. He's going to offer top 15 value many weeks like he did last year. He is still somewhat mobile, and he is not a bust. There's no way he busts. So I'm happy to take Baker here. With our next pick, would be ecstatic if Lloyd or Allen fall to us, but that's probably unlikely. I like Pearsall's value. I like Mooney. I love Leggett. Leggett I would put above Pearsall and Mooney. But if we have to go with the Kate Otten stack, that's not bad either. We could also go with the likely stack. Always potential that Andrews goes down again. I feel like they have to involve likely more in the game plan, given how effective he was filling in for Andrews. He's talented. So those are people who we're considering. But after our Baker selection, we see Marvin Mims go off. If I knew the quarterback situation, I might trust that pick a little bit more. But I think it's Bo Nix in Denver. I think that's the option. Freiermuth then, After him, we see Dontavian Wicks, Kendry Miller, Michael Mayer, Julian McLaughlin, Aaron Rodgers, Bucky Irvin. I like Michael Mayer's value. He's very interesting. But these are definitely backup tight ends. I think once you hit Kmet, you are out of the top 12 for sure. But I think Bowers could be overrated. I think Pitts is risky. I think Kincaid. I'd rather have Kittle. I'd rather have Ingram over Kincaid, but it is what it is. Ferguson has good value. Njoku is decent, although you could argue that maybe the Judy acquisition lowers his value. I don't think so. I'm not too worried about it. I think Njoku is still the number 2 receiver in Cleveland's offense. But Goddard had a bad year last year. Hawkinson coming off of injury with Sam Darnold now, not as appealing anymore. Pretty fair draft capital on him. Schultz is a bargain in my view. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. How do you guys feel about Dalton Schultz? Okay. So we did not get our rookie running back that we were hopeful to fall. We likely get sniped on tight end here. But I don't think I'm going to take tight end with this pick because only one team in this turn has one tight end, and I'm comfortable with either of these two. Leggett gets sniped. Okay. Bit of a bummer. I'm going to go with Ricky Pearsall. Pearsall has interesting stats. Pearsall, I could easily see going around 2, and that opens the door for teams like the Texans, the Cowboys. I currently have him going in like the 50s. Possibly even like a team like Philadelphia at pick 50 could be interested in Pearsall, but very fast, ran a 4.41, 6'1", 189 pounds. Could put on a little bit of weight, but not afraid of that. Had a decent year as a sophomore at Arizona State, 48 for 580 yards. As a junior, I feel like he missed some games as a junior. I could be wrong. But as a senior, 65 catches, 965 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pretty good season last year at Florida. We will be going with tight end with this pick. And I think I would prefer Otten. Yeah, because we have Baker. We also have Rachaad White. We're going to invest a little bit more into the stack that we have already set up. We are not stacking Lamar Jackson. We're not too worried about the Lamar stack, given where Andrews and Zay Flowers went off the board to pick 12. It was never really a viable option. We might go a guy like Rashad Bateman with our next pick. That's kind of tempting. I feel like they're going to go with the receiver in round 1 again, though. Wouldn't be shocked at all to see that happen. But just to remind you, our team at QB, we have Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield. At running back, we have Rachaad White, Nick Chubb, Jalen Warren, Brian Robinson Jr. At receiver, we have Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, Brian Thomas Jr., Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer, and Ricky Pearsall. So our receiver position, I feel very comfortable with it. I think we only need like one more receiver, and we're probably going to be done. I think that's, if we go with 9 receivers, I think that's a little overkill given we definitely need a third quarterback. We definitely need a third tight end. I think we need 2 more running backs. So that's 4 picks already. and there's only 5 left for us to take. So, yeah, we're only getting one more receiver with our remaining 5 picks. We're getting 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, and 1 tight end the rest of the way. Russ apparently is not in competition with Justin Fields, although wouldn't be shocked to see him lose his job. Not at all. But definitely a value given he is the week 1 starter that we can project. And there he goes at pick 177. Decent value. He's not going to be as effective as he was last year in Denver. There's no chance that happens, but I do think where you're getting him, I think it's a very safe investment. Not going to be upset with Russ as my 3rd QB in round, what is it, 16 at this point? Oh, no, we're still around 15. Yeah. The quarterback's going the rest of the way. I mean, I think Minshew's the most appealing one because I could easily see the Raiders not being able to draft a quarterback in round 1. Like, Penix could be off the board even, and Minshew's probably going to have good job security next season. I feel like they could end up with, like, Spencer Rattler in, like, round 3 if they are going to draft a quarterback. I'd be shocked to see Bo Nix get to them if the Broncos don't take him. But yeah, it's kind of grim at this point at quarterback. We're probably gonna be drafting a rookie. McCarthy, I think, could be a Viking, depending on if they trade up to pick 3 or pick 5. They're gonna try and snipe the Giants on a QB. I think they'd probably try to get Drake May, but if May goes to the Patriots, McCarthy would be the option at pick 5, assuming the Chargers are even open for business. But we'll see what happens. We do have Devontae Adams, so the Gardner Minshew investment would not be atrocious. This guy's got to go tight end soon, right? Needs one badly. Oh, wow, he goes Bateman. Interesting. Okay. So we're not getting him. I am a fan of Jalen Polk, who is falling, but do we take him? I feel like running back might be a wiser investment. I'm going to go with Ray Davis. I wanted a rookie running back on this team, and I think Ray Davis is a little bit more interesting than Estime. In case you don't know anything about Ray Davis, let's pull up his profile. Out of Kentucky. He's a little bit older, but that means he's ready to go. More a bit proven. 5'8", 211. He is bulky. He can handle a big workload. Scored 20 touchdowns last year. Caught 29 passes in each of the last 2 seasons, and also went over 1,000 rushing yards in each of the last 2 years in only 12 games. So started at Temple, transferred to Vanderbilt, and then played at Kentucky last year as a senior. Got a lot of weight on him, and he runs a 4.52, whereas Estime... What happened here? Oh, he's got an accent on his last name. Estime runs a 4.71. Yeah, not as exciting. Estime also doesn't really catch passes, and when you look at the tape on Estime, there are these like massive explosive plays. But what I realized very quickly is that The Audric Estime highlight reel is really a Joe Alt showcase. The left tackle for Notre Dame, Joe Alt, is just making gaping holes play after play where Estime gets a little bit of steam and like no one can really take him down. He's a big guy too. So Ray Davis, Audric Estime, kind of in the similar build. Estime is a little bit taller, but I don't really care. He is much slower. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ray Davis over Estime for sure. Absolutely. Okay. We should probably go. I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to go with my Gardner Minshew stack with Devontae Adams. At this point in the draft, like these last 4 rounds, whoever you want to take, even if you're drafting him a round or two above ADP, who the fuck cares? Like just get him. We have Adams. It's a very justifiable reach on Minshew, and there are very few like locked in solid starting quarterbacks at this point because Aiden O'Connell I don't think is a threat. I'd be very surprised if they do get a quarterback in round 1 given they're drafting behind the Broncos and given the fact that the Giants are definitely in play to draft possibly the 5th quarterback off the board already. Like I could easily see the top 6 going Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels to Washington, then Drake May to the Patriots, followed by obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. to Arizona. That feels set in stone. And then the Vikings are clearly going to trade up and they want to get above the Giants. So let's say they go to 5 and they get JJ McCarthy. At number 6, wouldn't shock me if the Giants just said fuck it and go Michael Penix. Wouldn't shock me at all. And at that point, you got to trade above the Broncos. Maybe they do it, but I feel like that was the reason why they signed Gardner Minshew in the first place. They know they're going to more than likely get stuck without a guy in round 1, and they just need a higher floor than what Aiden O'Connell provides. Minshew is definitely a decent option. We saw what he did last year in the Shane Steichen offense in Indianapolis. They were a few plays away from making the playoffs. So Minshew here in round 17, I think there's more risk with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones plays fewer games. I think Geno Smith could also get overtaken by, or lose his job at least, to Sam Howell. Minshew, I think, has the most starts locked in for any quarterback at this point, other than possibly Bo Nix. But that's only assuming that Bo Nix goes to Denver. Whichever rookie goes to Denver, going to have a full season of snaps, most likely. And given Bo Nix has played over 60 college games, I think what they need, just someone who can deliver the ball where the play designates it to, I think Bo Nix fits in Denver. So Bo Nix is actually, I think, one of the more appealing late-round quarterbacks who might get the most starts of any player at this point. Because Darnold, yes, he might be the week 1 starter, but if the Vikings trade up for J.J. McCarthy, by the time we hit Thanksgiving, I would assume J.J. is the quarterback. So you're only getting half a season from each of them. Michael Penix, I think you'd rather have him sit for a year, although if he goes to New York, by the time we're in October, we're probably going to see him be the starter. I just don't know. He also has some injury concerns as well. And Bo Nix is very mobile. Bo Nix has some good rushing stats. His combine wasn't like elite, but at 6'2", 214. Keep in mind he ran for 514 yards 2 years ago. That's pretty valuable. That's decent. 234 last year, but did throw for 4,500 yards. Not many interceptions. Only 3 interceptions to 45 touchdowns. Bo Nix is not bad. But we don't need quarterback anymore. Whoa, what am I doing? We're only looking at 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end in these last 3 rounds. I've taken a lot of Okonkwo. I've taken. Oh, Zach Ertz goes. Okay. We're definitely not going with Bo Nix, given our situation. But. Not ideal. I prefer Dulcich. It okay, whatever. Screen telling me it's not my turn to pick. Whatever. I'm gonna go Greg Dulcich. I think Dulcich has a bit more upside. He didn't play like at all last year, whereas Okonkwo gets more competition with Ridley coming in and new coaching staff. I don't know exactly what to make of it. With Jerry Jeudy leaving Denver, that would be even more targets for a guy possibly like Dulcich. Maybe Troutman is still going to get more snaps than him, but Dulcich, from a talent perspective, I'm not. I'm willing to take that shot. So there he is on our team. And now we are stuck with running back and wide receiver for our consideration. Dobbins is kind of interesting, but he's had so many injuries. Oh my God. It's hard to trust Dobbins. Like, coming off another Achilles injury, does he really run 4.37? I doubt it. Really doubt it. But if we scroll down, we can see his injury profile and a torn Achilles, ACL surgery, ACL tear. He's had 3 ACL tears. And an Achilles. Yeah, I don't think I can justify Dobbins. I mean, I know he's talented, but like, fuck. Fuck, man. You know who I love, though? I love me some Jalen McMillan. Jalen McMillan, I believe, is at worst a third-round pick. And I could easily see him going to the Broncos, third round. He has 10-inch hands. Jalen McMillan, holy shit. McMillan is dope. Played for Washington, did get hurt last year, but as a junior, went over 1,000 yards receiving on 79 targets, caught 9 touchdowns. He is interesting. He's 6'1", 197. Age 22, his arms are 32 inches. Not bad. His best comp is Jeudy, and he runs a 4.47. His hands are 10 inches, though. For receivers, that's definitely a good stat to have. So I like Jalen McMillan going super late. Could have a very interesting landing spot. Would love to see him on the Broncos. So that's who we took. Our 8th receiver, and then our last selection will be running back. Who knows? Maybe J.K. Dobbins is still on the board for us, but I think in a tournament, it's a little bit wiser to scroll down and get someone who maybe nobody is drafting. And I'm not going to let you exactly know who that is just yet, but keep in mind like the names here who are still free agents that are veterans that could possibly go to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys need a running back. Right now, the only running back they have on their roster is Deuce Vaughn, who is like 5'5". Maybe he's 5'6" or something. Let me be accurate on Deuce Vaughn. No, he's 5'5". I was not wrong. He's only 4. He only runs a 4.61 as well. You really telling me the Cowboys are going with Deuce Vaughn? Can't imagine that happens. So maybe they add J.K. Dobbins. Maybe a handcuff to Breece Hall and Izzy Abanaconda's worth it. Maybe Etienne's handcuff in Bigsby is worth it. But he lost a lot of reps to Dearness Johnson, who they did retain in Jacksonville. I think Tank Bigsby is actually a little bit scary, although I loved his talent. He was a third-round pick. You would expect him to be more involved this year, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't happen. Ronnie Rivers is the handcuff to Kyron Williams, but I don't feel good about that. Meanwhile, maybe Dalvin Cook could resalvage his career. Maybe he could go to Dallas. That's a possibility. Um, Madison's a free agent. Maybe he goes to Dallas, but he didn't look too good last year. Maybe Jamal Williams goes to Dallas. I believe Jamal is now 30 years old, so that's a little scary. Isaiah Spiller is still on the Chargers roster. We could consider him. Trey Sermon has yet to find a team. He was kind of hyped coming out of college. I was a believer in him for a while. We could handcuff a guy like CMC, hoping he goes down. What's the deal with a rookie like Kimani Vidal? What's the deal with Vidal? Runs a 4.46, 5.8, 213. Ran for 1,600 yards last year. Decent pass catcher, but played for Troy. Maybe not the easy, maybe not the hardest conference to play in. There's so many options. I mean, even Eric Gray, a handcuff to Devin Singletary, is a little bit interesting. But Dobbins does go off, so we will not be taking Dobbins. Nope. Who could we go with? Justice Hill, perhaps a pass catcher behind Derrick Henry. I don't know if Keaton Mitchell's going to be that healthy, so maybe Justice Hill is a little bit tempting, but I don't think you'd feel great about it. There's many ways to go. Frank Gore Jr., I'm not super excited about him. Didn't love the research I did on him, but who knows? Wow, Josh Reynolds still being drafted. That feels odd. I feel like the only team that would be interested in him would be Detroit, and he's not there yet. He's not back in Detroit as last I checked. So okay, KJ Osborne. Did Osborne find a team? He's a free agent. He did not find a team yet. Not yet. I feel like Darnold is not a bad pick here, but okay, now we're on the clock and we will be taking running back, and I'm going to take someone that I didn't even queue up. I was saving it for the suspense. If you're actually watching and you made it this far, the guy I like this late would be the free agent D'Onta Foreman. I like D'Onta Foreman. I feel like somebody's going to sign him, and while he had a rough start to his career, he's been on rosters lately. He's been getting it done, and I feel like that's someone that the Cowboys could be signing in the next month or so, because the running backs in the draft don't give you like incredible confidence. They're not like that good. And D'Onta Foreman is most of the time going undrafted. He gives us a bit of an edge in the tournament format. Someone that's unique that could be rostered like less than 5% in this tournament, and definitely give us an advantage. So that's who we took. That was our team. So just to remind you how this draft went, let me pull up the draft board. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. We are team 4, and we started with Jamar Chase. Then we went Devontae Adams, followed by Michael Pittman. Then Rachaad White, followed by Lamar Jackson, Brian Thomas Jr., Nick Chubb, Jaylen Warren, Brian Robinson. We went with 3 straight running backs to round out our top 4. And hopefully I am right about the fact that Brian Robinson Jr. is the starter above Eckler. I'm a little worried that Jaden Daniels could limit his value a little bit, but hoping for the best. Then I went with Mike Williams, who was going around pick 105 or so, like almost a full round earlier, about a month ago. He could easily fall past this, but he's gonna sign with someone, and once that happens, it's possibly a team where he moves up to, somewhere around like JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. If he goes back to the Chargers, we would love that, but it's not guaranteed. I'm just hoping for the best with Mike Williams and the talent to work out. But then our tight end one is Dalton Schultz. We waited on tight end. Then we go Joshua Palmer, Baker Mayfield, Ricky Pearsall, a rookie receiver I'm excited about. I think we'll go in the mid second round, around pick 50 to 60, somewhere in there. There's some good landing spots in that area. Then Cade Otton to complete our Tampa Bay stack. Then we went with Ray Davis, hoping that this rookie running back gets some work. Then we went with Gardner Minshew, Greg Dulcich, hoping he has a bounce back season. Took a shot on rookie Jalen McMillan, who has 10-inch hands. And lastly, Cowboys with our 20th round pick. That's going to be it for this draft. And yeah, that's it for me. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. I will also talk a little bit more in depth on all of the players who shifted teams this week in a video on YouTube. Now that the dust is kind of settling and we're not getting news every single day, that's really drastically changing the landscape, I feel like it's appropriate to give my opinion and talk about all the free agency moves that took place. So that's it for me. My name is Adam Riancho, and thank you for watching. Nice and blunt.